North Freeway in Omaha has been a hotbed of construction from summer into the fall, and wouldn't you know it, there was a hitch along the way.
6 First Alert traffic reporter Jarrett Lansford shares how the planned timeline didn't quite work out.
There is a conflict between the resurfacing activities on Highway 75 and the bridge painting.
The North Freeway has been in need of upgrades, and this summer saw that work begin in earnest. Now, there are actually 2 different projects that are happening on the stretch of the North Freeway between Hamilton and Ames. One of them involves improving the pavement on that stretch, both northbound and southbound. There's repaving happening here in that stretch. That's one project. The other one actually involves what you're seeing as you make your way overhead with the bridges that are in place. Just to name a few that are getting the work done, Hamilton as well as Lake and Ames, you're getting some patchwork done on the bridges, and the steel beams also getting repainted to try to protect them. Those involve 2 different sets of equipment, so there's a bit of a conflict there. Something has to get. So a compromise was worked out so that work could be done on both projects.
They split the project at the pedestrian bridge and attempted to do all of the painting south of the pedestrian bridge, including the pedestrian bridge, this year, or to do it first, and to do the resurfacing north of the pedestrian bridge.
They would then flip sides next year. That was the plan, anyway.
The resurfacing on the southbound side of Highway 75, north of the pedestrian bridge, has not been completed, and asphalt activities are complete for this season.
There have been no complications with the painting project, though.
They're ahead of schedule. They're almost halfway done. We have 8 bridges being painted, and they're finishing up numbers 3 and 4 right now, and they'll be complete in the next few weeks.
Once they wrap up for the season, all lanes and ramps will be open and remain that way through the winter. The Nebraska DOT is hoping that pavement work resumes in the spring before the painters return to get the entire roadway back on schedule. For 6 First Alert Traffic, Jarrett Lansford, 6 News.
The Nebraska DOT says that next year's pavement work will involve overnight lane closures, and the bridge painting will result in lane closures near the bridge being worked on, so similar to what we experienced this year.